Hi. Welcome to Mike
and Nami Plus. Today we have a comment from
Jimin's Big Booty asks, can you do like a talk related to parents who have a favorite child with a certain son or daughter, well, obviously when there's multiple kids, and how that can affect a kid's life in the long run, or just your thoughts on it. Let's just share our thoughts on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or like our own experience. For me, I was the favorite child. I think I can say that because I was the youngest and because my mom had me really, really late. So I was like her baby. I'm still like her baby. I don't know if she calls me baby anymore. She used to until I think I told her not to. In a lot of ways, she spoiled me in like her affection and show of affection and her wanting to do everything for me. But I feel like that didn't really affect me in the best ways, because in a lot of ways I feel like I wish she would have taught me responsibility or discipline my ill discipline a little more.
Right. But for you didn't grow up with the siblings.
Yes. I kind of grew up as an only child.
Yeah.
Because both my siblings were already 19 and 20, so
totally different life stage.
Yes, and they stayed in Korea, and my mom and I came to Canada, so I basically grew up kind of like an only child all my life, but I could still understand that I was kind of the favorite child because my mom hadn't spent a lot of time with her other children, and she always told me, I love you, my baby. And I think it did affect my siblings a lot because they could feel it as well, I think. And it hurts you to know that you're not cared for in the same way. But for you, it was kind of different, right?
I heard somewhere that the middle child gets neglected.
Yes.
Because the first child is the firstborn.
So they get all the rewards. And
yeah. And then there's a second child and they're babied. And then when there's a third child, the
third
youngest gets all the attention. The oldest gets all the rewards. And the middle one is kind of the leftovers on both ends.
Did you feel like that?
Not at all. For me, it was different because I liked
being alone. Being left alone.
I think a part of me felt comfortable and I liked being alone from parents, partly because I grew up that way.
Yes.
My parents were away from the home for so many hours because they had to work. I got really close with my sister.
Right. And she kind of like semi-raised you.
But I think I later realized that I lacked a lot of time with family. A lot of time where I needed their words of affirmation or encouragement or mentorship. Yeah. Just time talking and sharing and even shows of affection. Any parent may try not to have a favorite. I think every parent always has a kind of bias.
That they click well with or understand better.
Yeah, or they could maybe understand or like in different ways. For example, if there are two daughters, one daughter kind of characterized as, oh, you're the best daughter, and the other daughter as, oh, you're my favorite daughter, or another daughter as, you're the most cherishable daughter. Maybe if they had four daughters, like, oh, you're the most adorable daughter. Right. It could be characterized and expressed differently. When things get toxic, it's when parents go, oh, you're the son. You're more valuable because you're the guy. Right. We're going to bless you and honor you and encourage you in whatever you do, everything you do. You're the best. You're the hope for the future. And then if it's a daughter and the second born, it's like, you're not as important.
Yeah. Or the opposite. Like, oh, you're the son, so we're going to be completely hard on you and never give you any attention. Right. I think it's different for every family. It is different. But it exists in every family to a degree.
And those things can seriously cause a lot of pain that even you might not even find healing until you hit your 20s or 30s. And when you talk and realize
or
it, you
even
just
like
suddenly
40s or 50s. I think sometimes as well there are things that parents do that they don't mean to do, and sometimes they don't at all neglect, or they don't, in their mindset they did everything that they could do. And that's what my own mother says all the time, like, in the situation I was in, I did the best of my absolute ability to raise you, to love you, to this, to do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I did everything that I could ever do. But in the child's perspective, how would you know that unless you have full communication with the child? And in most cases, parents don't have that. And even if you have that, like, as a parent, you have to discern.
So in terms of favorites can be expressed differently. If a parent values
their obedience, or let's say if a parent values a gender or a certain skill or trait. Like two sons can be born totally differently. Right. You know that you're Galahad. Galahad's more artistic, not really a sports guy. Ziek is sporty, very aggressive. Yeah, he can't sing.
So the way I see Galahad and Ziek is different, though I love them both. And I wouldn't say I have a favorite of the one. I do think some of them are better at some things than the other in terms of traits. I think I don't have a favorite. I don't think it's possible.
No.
I can understand how people could have a favorite.
Yeah, especially if they truly, strongly value everything that they see in the child.
So how could it affect the kid's life in the long run? Well, it could affect self-esteem. Like if you were not a favorite and you didn't get those words of affirmation.
Or if you were a favorite, you could just be a total jerk and that will stifle your opportunities or something because you think you're like the best at everything. I think it's important for all parents to understand each child as that child, as a person. I think a lot of the times parents see children as children, but they don't see children as people. Right. And children are people. Yes. Though they are children and have childrenistic characteristics, they still are people with thoughts and opinions.
And parents should approach their children as serving their children, not controlling and manipulating them.
Right.
Like you said, it's very important for parents to treat their children as individuals, not as...
and learn them.
Not as a blank slate.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, you're going to be like this, so I'm going to keep training you in that sense. Yeah. Yes, that can go far away, but we shouldn't be approaching children as blank slates in which we can make them out to be whatever we want them to be. They are born with a personality.
Right.
And it's our job to serve them and get to understand them, to parent them, to guide them, and in the future as they grow, to mentor them. And I think that is the better approach to parenting. Of course, you have to discipline them. Otherwise, they're going to grow up in...
Wild. I think it's hard when parents have favorites because it's not just, I think, maybe more than a favorite. It's that they have a child that they relate to better or a child that they communicate better with or understand better. For example, I have a really hard time dealing with Galahad's meltdowns because they're exactly like mine and I just can't deal with that. But Michael's so good at counseling Galahad and talking to him and guiding him. But when Ziek has his stubbornness or his willfulness or he needs something like this, like Michael is just like, stop already, stop. But I'm like, oh, no. It's because I understand him in that sense, right? So more than, like, I don't think that we view our children as favorites. But I think that we understand that there are specific children that we are better with in terms of communication or guidance or our own self-regulation.
Yeah.
Because we also need self-control when parenting. And understanding them as people helps a lot. So what do you think about this? Do you have siblings as well? Do you find that your parents have a favorite or treat different children differently? I think that it is natural in a way to communicate differently with different children and be triggered differently with different parents. But I think, like everything else, it's something that we all have to work through. Just life.
Ta-da.